Instead of driving home for Christmas, this year I decided to attempt to run a marathon home. Only I hadn't trained for one and had never even run half the distance. And as I was commuting home, I was going to have to carry all my belongings, including a laptop, with me. And if that's not bad enough, it was also the shortest day of the year. So you may be thinking, this sounds like a pretty terrible idea, and I completely agree. In fact, I went into it thinking it was. So then, why did I try this? Well, I think there's a lot to be found in trying things you're not sure you can do sometimes. I was curious to see what might happen if I tried a marathon and wanted to reconnect with the side of myself that used to seek out big physical challenges so much.
I've got so much food.
I woke up to the tea from my advent calendar, pretty ironically reading Balance, demolished a big bowl of oats, and said goodbye to Granny, who wasn't exactly delighted by the prospect.
What are your thoughts about my marathon without training tomorrow?
Oh, absolutely over the moon, not worried in the least.
Honestly, I hadn't felt very enthused by the idea of a marathon at all, but as I boarded the train, something shifted as it became real. This kind of quiet thrill crept in, rooted in a deep curiosity for how the day might unfold and all the novelty and experience I was yet to meet. As the train doors opened, I began running almost immediately, probably looking like I was late to a meeting when really I was just in a rush to get home before dark, despite it only being daybreak.
That's me about a mile in. My legs are already sore. I think this bag with my laptop in it's going to cause me a little bit more bother than I was hoping. Today's the day with lowest daylight, which I think kind of adds to the charm. My granny, she didn't think the same though. It's quite a chilly day as well. Doesn't leave single digits for temperature. Staying wrapped up warm.
I couldn't remember the last time I'd tracked a run, so really wasn't sure if my pace would allow me to make it home before dark, if at all. To begin with, I felt myself pulled to run faster, but if I've learned anything this year, it's that slow and steady truly does win the race, so I settled into a slower, consistent rhythm.
I'm about 7 miles in, which is about a quarter of the way. The fact that I'm going to do what I've just done 3 times over is something I'm trying not to think about. Just hope I make it home before it's completely dark.
The last time I'd been on this stretch of the canal was about 5 years ago, when, again on quite a whim, I decided to see if I could just cycle 100 miles despite little experience. I was immediately brought back to that time and reflected on why and how I did it back then, and also noticed how my mindset was different now. A big difference this time was I didn't see the success of the marathon in actually completing the distance. Before, if I had a goal in mind, I'd push through anything to complete it, even when it caused harm. For example, once I tried a massive sea swim.
Nobody believes I can do it, so we'll see if I can prove everybody wrong.
And when my legs seized up badly, I just carried on using only my arms for hours, which might sound resilient, but it was so exhausting I was left unwell for weeks. Now I believe it would have been more resilient to have been able to challenge my pride, loosen expectations, and respect my body enough not to hurt it like that. I don't regret these challenges I did in my younger years, as they served me well at that time and taught me how to push limits and that I was far more capable than I realized. It isn't that I don't seek challenge anymore either. In fact, I arguably do even more of it now, just in a different way. This year I faced my biggest fear, public speaking, traveled solo for the first time, and spent 10 days meditating in complete silence. Challenge has always and continues to add great depth and clarity to my life. I just find there are more meaningful ways and approaches with it.
It's my first milestone. 11 miles, which is officially the longest I've ever run. And my legs can feel it, but just relaxing into it one step at a time and keeping a steady pace, refueling, rehydrating, feeling okay. Not the best, but like not the worst either. So half marathon. Yeah, my legs definitely feel it, but I'm just staying focused. I've got the song Driving Home for Christmas stuck in my head, but I've made my own remix of it. I'm running home for Christmas, yeah. Running along the canal, and my legs can't wait to slow down. Or sit down, actually. They can't wait to sit down. Such a good singer, I know. I'm going a bit delirious. Probably time for a water break.
As the marathon became more physically demanding, I got through it by relaxing into the experience, taking a kind of backseat as the rhythm of the canal and my legs guided the way. Even if that relaxation was a little forced at times, everything became easier the moment I observed instead of reacted. This way of observing pain instead of reacting to it isn't something I've always been able to do. It's a mindset that's strengthened over time through hard experiences, education, meditation, and life itself. Actively strengthening this muscle has been invaluable in giving me clarity and direction when making decisions. For years I felt somewhat directionless. Grades and targets often felt empty, and I think that's because fixed endpoints are largely a figment of the imagination. Life isn't as static as a grade. Everything is in constant flux. Realizing this has opened the door to a much fuller way of being.
Mile 16, my energy levels have taken a real drop. My legs are in agony, but just gonna keep on moving and hopefully kind of break past this wall that I've hit.
Another difference I noticed is that I'm far less interested in conquering or winning. What matters to me more now is exploration, working with where I am rather than against it. I found that to fight experience is really just to fight myself. As my body grew sore, I didn't resist it, I allowed the pain fully. I didn't see it as good or bad, I just simply observed it, knowing it would pass, as everything does. I knew that resisting or dwelling on it would only add mental stress to the already physical strain, burning me out far more quickly. By loosening expectations, far more doors opened for learning, and with that comes an indescribable richness to life. Approaching the challenge this way allowed me to stay present, to truly learn from it, and to connect not just with my body and past selves, but with the place.
Approaching 20 miles. It's been really interesting to see how different time feels like on the canal. The terrain is pretty flat and the same. Some miles feel so quick and some don't feel that way at all. Some feel so long.
I became aware of the splendor and the rhythm and life of the canal. For me, that felt far more meaningful than being able to say I moved 26 miles along it without really seeing any of it. This mindset is also why I decided to create the adventure calendar, which I'm running this marathon as a part of. Adventure is often misunderstood as reaching a summit or completing physical challenges, but I've come to believe that adventure doesn't live in completion or destination. It lives in remaining open and curious to the journey itself. In that sense, adventure becomes a practice of perception and mindset. And that matters because it means adventure isn't exclusive to those who travel widely or push their bodies to extremes. It's subjective, accessible, and deeply human. Adventure and connection to place are innate qualities. We're born with them. They can just be harder to notice or practice in modern life.
I've got about 5 miles to go until I hit the marathon mark. Absolutely everything hurts. But I'm just gonna keep on going, head down and get on with it, really.
The way I approach this marathon isn't something I reserve for bigger experiences like this. I try to bring it into the simplest everyday moments. An adventurous outlook brings a sense of magic to the ordinary rather than saving excitement for rare one-off experiences. It reshapes how you engage with the world, and that's why the adventure calendar exists. By inviting people to intentionally practice a more adventurous perspective over the 24 days of Advent, it begins to feel habitual. Over time, this openness doesn't just change how we experience challenge, it transforms how we experience and connect to life itself. In a world increasingly focused on systems and checklists, this feels more important than ever for ourselves and for our communities.
The path appears to be blocked. I did not like that. The geese were hissing at me, but I managed to squeeze around. Officially off the canal. I don't even know what distance I'm at anymore. I've just stopped checking. It's intense.
Towards the end, I didn't have the capacity to think about anything other than putting one foot in front of the other. That's something I've always loved about challenges, the simplicity of being fully present, one step at a time, and working with what unfolds around me.
I've completed the marathon now. It's exciting. Just keeping on going though. Still got a few kilometers left. Did my parents decide to live up such a steep hill? I feel like it probably doesn't even look steep on the video, but it is. I'm telling you. This hill is like hard on a normal day. Never mind after a marathon. Another hill. Am I running? It might be more like a walking pace, but I haven't stopped running. One foot in front of the other, I'm nearly there. Final stretch. Still got a fair bit of daylight. Thought I would want a hot bath as soon as I got in, but all I want is like an ice bath just to ice my muscles. It's not easy. Made it, there's Callie. Hello Callie!
Made it!
Woohoo! Made it!
You made it!
So yes, I did complete the marathon and even ran a few extra miles, which was satisfying, but the number 26.2 on its own feels pretty hollow. What made this worthwhile were the lessons and reflections it offered, the curiosity on the train, the taste of lunch after 10 miles, and the surprise of my dad and dog at the end. It was the challenge, the attention it demanded, and the places I came to know that reshaped and will stay with me.